very nice to meet you, everyone. Who doesn't know me, I am Renata. As Asim says, we are helping to organize this, but I'm like, in my heart, a woman in tech, as always. So I'm very happy to introduce you, Isabella. Isabella is an advisor, is founder. She's a very big expert in YPO launching. She's a very big expert in different verticals of business like HealthTech, Fintech, AI, and many more. But it's much better for the person to speak of himself than me. So Isabella, please, shall we start with a small introduction about your experience? This is your first time in Kazakhstan, about your impressions, and we will take it from there.
Awesome. Thank you very much for having me. I've been in Kazakhstan for probably 14, 16 hours by now, so I just landed earlier this morning. Took a red eye to come see you, to come see the ecosystem, the startup ecosystem here in Kazakhstan. I'm super excited. Thank you for having me. Very brief intro about me. My whole career has been at the intersection of financial services and technology. I started my career in BPO consulting, working with Fortune 500 companies, advising them. That's given me an immense amount of exposure to a lot of industries. And I'm nothing but a problem solver, so when I saw the complex problems and challenges that financial services had, I thought that's an industry for me to delve in and try to address. So I deep dived into financial services. I worked with some of the bigger banks in the MENA region. From there, I moved to big tech. So I was with Amazon for about 6 years as a chief operating officer for the Fintech business. Just a side note, I feel like every year at Amazon feels like a decade of experience in any other organization. So if you have an opportunity to work with one of the big tech companies, I definitely encourage you to do that. Afterwards, I joined a private equity firm in Brookfield. They hold about $1 trillion in assets. So I led a $5 billion deal an M&A deal in financial service, in fintech in particular. I've been investing in advising startups, and I feel like now is time for me to delve into the deep end of entrepreneurship as well. So I started my own tech and AI company, solving for complex problems in the health tech space. Very briefly about me.
Thank you so much, Isabella. Why I'm hosting this podcast today is because Whitehill actually launched an Alfarabi Innovation Hub in Saudi, and now we're not just investing in startups, but we are locating them and soft landing them in Saudi and the whole Middle East region. That's why Isabella's experience in Middle East is something that is very valuable, and I know there is a lot of startup founders right here who would be happy to go to this market, because IT expert is now our priority number one. Everyone is talking about that. So my first question would be, can you explain us a little bit about the Middle East MENA startup ecosystem landscape? What kind of startups are welcome there? What is the trend to develop? What kind of startups we can bring from Central Asia and Kazakhstan in particular to MENA?
So I think the MENA region presents a very unique challenge. 12 years ago when I moved to Dubai, I wasn't very keen on moving to Dubai. I thought it would be career suicide, to be honest. I had a very clear trajectory in front of me. I already had a global role spanning across industries, so I felt like I was learning a lot and I had amazing opportunities. And I felt like MENA region might not necessarily be the right place for me. And how wrong was I thinking that? MENA region presents an amazing set of opportunities, and I feel like Central Asia has that same set of opportunities ahead of it. For one, what I found in MENA was that there was a massive growth potential. MENA is definitely one of the fastest growing startup ecosystems, particularly in areas like financial technology, so in fintech, in AI. Web3 is growing incredibly fast, and health tech as well. Another very unique element about the MENA region is that the government is very active and very supportive of initiatives and startups and fuels the ecosystem there. So governments in UAE, in Saudi, in Bahrain are very actively investing in tech across a variety of industries, but they're very active in the tech space. PIF, I don't know if you're familiar with the Saudi's PIF, they're investing about $45 billion. So they're very much supporting the ecosystem. Another element is the unique market conditions that are in MENA, which, when we think about the digital savviness of the users, right? So the very high mobile adoption, it's just an incredibly digital savvy population. So there's a lot of interest from VCs. There's a lot of interest to make this a great launchpad for startups. So yeah, I think there's a lot of unique vantage points why MENA region is attractive, and I feel like Central Asia has a lot, is kind of on a very similar path.
Okay. Since there is a lot of competition in the market, I mean, from everywhere in the world, startups wants to come to Saudi, they want to come to UAE, and also we are from Kazakhstan and Central Asia. We also want to go into the same market. What do you think would be the best trend for the startups now? Like, what kind of startups would go into the market better? Is it AI, or is it going to be the HealthTech, where you're a big expert in? Because in Kazakhstan, we have a huge, very strong Fintech as well. Maybe our Fintech startups has the best potential. Which vertical you think is the best now for now?
So I definitely think that Fintech is probably one of the primary and the most prime and the most ripe industries for fostering innovation. MENA in particular, I feel like has leapfrogged traditional banking. There's super apps, there's embedded finance, there's digital wallets. So there's a suite of products and services wherein Fintech has solved for in the MENA region. Now, AI and automation, again, is one of the areas that is key and that's booming, and there's a lot of investment in as well. So separately from Fintech, just more generally AI and automation. And we talked a lot about the emergence of agentic AI. And there's a lot of use cases that come up now, again, across a variety of industries in Fintech, in HealthTech, and so many other industries. So again, I think that's another vertical of huge potential. And not to forget about Web3 and blockchain, right? So that's I think another, probably a third pillar that I feel is very strongly coming up now. I have neighbors who bought property in crypto. I think with the tokenization and I think it allows, it removes the entry barrier, or at least it makes it more frictionless, enabling access to more and more people. So Dubai is definitely pushing for crypto regulations, and tokenization in real estate, like I said, is something that we see growing. So yeah, I'd probably narrow it down to these three pillars.
Yeah, so I think we do have a lot of projects that we can offer there, especially in Fintech, in AI. This is really good. I've seen that you've participated in a lot of different women in tech, empowering women events, and had speeches there. I cannot not to ask you, because the Middle East is, in our mind, is a very unique culture and traditions. How do women-founded startups or companies are living in Middle East? Do they have any limitations, regulations? There's a lot of women-established companies right here, or women-led companies right here. Do we have to? What is the potential for us in Middle East? And maybe you have some success story or some good example where a woman founded or leading a company had really great success in MENA.
I mean, I feel like there's definitely a lot more opportunity and potential for the MENA region to develop more talent and more successful talent. Being part of the YPO community has exposed me to a lot of the founders that I didn't really even know that exist. I think we're not very good at marketing ourselves. I think we're deep problem solvers. We focus on solving a problem, or perhaps we might not be as best at putting ourselves out there, showing to the world what we're building, what we're solving for. So I definitely feel like there's potential to, even through communities like this, right, to create more noise, to create more visibility and awareness about what each of us are building and what we're solving for. I think there's a lot of challenges that women face. I've definitely been in boardrooms where people would not even shake your hand, or men would not even make eye contact. And it makes it that much more difficult because you have to prove yourself extra, you have to work extra hard to prove yourself. But I feel like progress is being made, and we're in a much better position now. Another element I feel like there's, with networks like this, mentorship, access to mentorship, how we create opportunities for mentorship is something that can make or break somebody's, a young founder's startup success. So I think our openness to give our advice and to give our recommendations and to lend our subject matter expertise that we've built in a certain industry matters so much. It's not just our right, it's our responsibility as well to pass the baton and to share from the lessons learned that we've had. Not just the success story, we all like to shine and we all like to tell a good story, but it's also about the challenges. I think we learn more or most even from the challenges and the failure and the struggles. So again, I think communities like this is what we need to double down on to invest in and empower more people, more women to be successful.
Great. And I think Kazakhstani women and girls are very good at challenges and problem solving.
Yeah.
Yes. I think there is a lot of potential, even for the female founded, especially in Fintech, AI, and Web3 and HealthTech. And it doesn't matter if you're a woman or not. There is a lot of potential. And in Saudi, in the Vision 2030 that they have a specific KPI for woman-founded startups. And Saudi is one of the most strict countries, right? And they are opening right now. I've been talking with local people, and they're saying our daughters have 2 or 3 high educational degrees, and they are proud of that.
That's
and
right.
When I heard that, I don't know, my heart was melted because it was so cool. I was not expecting that. So I think, to wrap up all of this conversation, the Middle East and MENA particular region should be one of the top priorities for startups like our region, like Central Asia. We can go there as female, as woman in tech, but the most important part is to find a community and to find mentors.
Yes. I think cross-collaboration between these 2 geographical hubs is very, very important. So finding these little bridges, creating these little bridges if they're not there, I think it's critical to share best practices between the regions. Yeah.
So I feel like there is a new idea, Siam, to organize for us, is to have the connection between Central Asian women in tech in Kazakhstan and women in tech in Saudi and UAE, like a bridging, because our regions are very close in economic and financial. We need to build like a platform to communication between our 2 communities, that everyone will benefit from that.
I mean, we should sit back after the session and plan it, because I think there's definitely opportunities there. For sure.
That's a great idea.
For sure.
Okay, just to wrap up, till we are finished almost our podcast, what would be your biggest advice or empowering note for the projects, startups, and companies who are here, who are from Kazakhstan or other Central Asian, and we do want to expand to MENA, we want to go into that market. Do you believe in us? Do you think we can make it? And any kind of advice from you?
For sure. I mean, again, growing up, I've had women leaders, and I've seen, my family doctor, my lawyer, so I think having examples of strong women leaders is definitely important. Having mentors is incredibly important. So going out, seeking such mentors, whether it's from Central Asia itself or MENA or other regions, I think, again, it's incredibly critical. I definitely feel like the Central Asia population has an incredible talent, from what I've learned from the Whitehill team, from what I've heard from, I've learned a lot about the talent here. So I think there's definitely a lot of opportunity. Leveraging global communities like Token, Leap, GITEX, I think that's a great opportunity to enter that geography, to understand what's going on, to showcase and have that opportunity to exhibit the local talent and capabilities that are available here. I think that in itself is a great channel to create that bridge.
Yeah, that sounds great. Let's plan a trip to Leap then.
Yeah, let's do it.
In a week. It's the 9th of February.
Let's do it.
Starting.
Let's do it.
Okay. So I wanted to say thank you so much for answering these questions, for explaining us more, because maybe some people could have any stereotypes in mind. Sometimes we think Middle East have everything. They have everyone is already there. They are not waiting for us, but that's just like in our heads, right? We should break that limitations and we shall just go. And I think MENA is one of the very priority market for Kazakhstan and for our region, I guess?
There's a lot of problems to solve, and I think you guys are quite even more advanced in some areas. Like the Kaspi example, just one of the easiest examples I can think of, right? So there's so many use cases that have been proven here in this region that can be easily just deployed, lift and shift. But there's also continuous innovation that can happen to benefit the MENA region.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thank you.